Welcome to Legends of the Hidden Horde, the podcast that plunges into the shadows of the world's most enigmatic creatures. From the depths of forgotten lakes to the dark corners of ancient forests, we weave creative and mysterious tales of the over 500 distinct cryptids that stalk the dark reaches of the globe. Blending folklore, eyewitness accounts, and imaginative twists, we explore the origins, cultural impacts, and the chilling implications of what might truly hide in the unknown. These are their stories. Join us, if you dare. So grab your bug zapper and step out onto the docks with me for episode 4, the Dundas Island Blackfly. In the shadowed embrace of Chatham Sound, where the Pacific's restless waves claw at the jagged shores of British Columbia, lies Dundas Island, a place the Tsimshian people have long known as cursed ground. For over 11,000 years, their ancestors walked these ancient forests and tidal flats, carving oral histories into the very bones of the land. Yet one chapter they spoke only in hushed tones, around dying fires, the tale of the sky demons, the flesh-devouring blackflies that rose from the island's black heart like a plague from the underworld. The elders called them Galtsap, the devourers, not ordinary insects, but vengeful spirits bound to the island by some primordial pact. They were said to swarm in clouds so dense they blotted out the moon, their bodies 6 inches of obsidian nightmare, wings humming a low, endless dirge that chilled the blood before the first bite. Legends claim the demons drank not only blood, but the spirit itself, their paralytic venom turning muscle to stone while razor mandibles stripped flesh from bone in ravenous unison. A single swarm could reduce a deer or a man to a scattering of white fragments in minutes. Most terrifying of all, the creatures were prisoners of Dundas. They would pursue their prey for hours across bog and boulder, relentless as the tide, yet they could not cross the water. To escape was to live. To linger was to become another warning carved into the island's silent stones. Centuries slipped by like fog. European trappers and fishermen dismissed the warnings as savage superstition. In autumn of 1927, a hard-bitten Norwegian skipper named Elias Thorne dropped anchor in a hidden cove on the island's western flank. He had heard the stories from the Tsimshian guides and Prince Rupert, how the people refused to set foot here, how even wolves avoided the interior after dusk. But Thorne laughed. "Flies do not rule men," he told his mate before rowing ashore alone with axe and lantern, seeking old-growth cedar for ship repairs. The forest welcomed him with deceptive silence, towering cedars dripping with moss. The air hung heavy with the scent of rot and salt. Then came the sound, a distant vibration like 1,000 tiny engines walking beneath the earth. Thorne paused, axe raised. The hum grew deeper, closer, until the trees themselves seemed to tremble. From the undergrowth they rose, first one, then dozens, then a living black tempest. Each fly was monstrous, its segmented abdomen glistening, compound eyes reflecting the lantern light like fresh blood. They moved with unnatural intelligence, encircling him in a lightning spiral. The first bite landed on his neck, a white-hot lance that spread numbness faster than any poison he had known. Blood welled, flesh tore. He swung wildly, crushing 2 against a trunk, but the swarm only thickened. Their droning filled his skull, a funeral hymn promising oblivion. Thorne ran, crashing through the Salal and Devil's Club, the flies at his heels like hounds from hell. They did not tire. They did not scatter. One landed on his cheek and began to feed even as he crushed it, its mandibles still working in death. Another pierced his arm. Paralysis crept towards his fingers. He could feel them tasting him, savoring the life they stole. By the time he burst onto the rocky shore, half his shirt was shredded, skin raw and weeping. The boat bobbed 20 yards out. Behind him, the swarm hovered at the tree line like a living wall, wings beating in perfect hateful unison. They would not follow. Thorne staggered into the surf, hauling himself aboard with failing strength. As the current carried him away, he looked back, one last time. On the beach lay the remains of a black-tailed deer that had wandered too close earlier that day. Nothing but a perfect white skeleton, picked clean in the space of a single tide. Elias Thorne survived, but he was never the same. The scars never healed properly. They itched with phantom bites on calm nights. He never returned to Dundas, and to this day, the Tsimshian still speak of the island as a place where the old laws hold. Some boundaries exist for a reason, and some hungers are not meant to roam beyond their prison. In the legend of the Dundas Island Blackfly, we confront a truth as ancient and merciless as the sea itself. The smallest creatures of our world often embody its greatest wisdom. What we dismiss as folklore is nature's quiet sermon on hubris, reminding us that power does not always wear the face of giants or storms, but sometimes arrives on fragile wings, patient, insatiable, and forever bound to the wild places we have not learned to respect. The demons do not leave Dundas because they do not need to. The island is the world entire, and we are the ones who keep sailing towards its shore, forgetting that some hungers were never meant to be fed. I really appreciate you listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Legends of the Hidden Horde. If it has you wanting to take a bath in DEET, leave me a comment or write a review. And until next time, keep your eyes open. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.